It's a What a Weird Week special episode, 9 nines, catching you up on 9 former number 9s.
Hi, everybody, it's Weird.
This is like crazy being here.
Really weird tale.
Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff.
Friends, I'm Scott, and this is What a Weird Week. It's a show where we catch you up on all the weird stuff that happened this past week in the news. It's a special episode, though, so we're going back.
Way back.
And we're going to check in on 9 number 9s from the start of the year. Do they hold up? Are they still weird? If you are curious about the follow-ups to these stories, you can get everything we talk about if you go shownotes.page. That's where you get transcripts and podcast stuff and all of the show notes. Shownotes.page.
9.
Our first number 9 from January 12th, a couple of scary dogs caused $350,000 damage at a car dealership in Houston. We linked to the video at the time. We'll put it back in these show notes too. When we talked about that one, the dogs had been arrested, detained in an animal shelter, really. They scratched up the paint and tore bumpers off cars, and they just went ham on these automobiles because they think cats were hiding under the cars, and the dogs got all fired up. This one doesn't have too much of an update. I mean, I kept expecting the dogs would show up in some kind of viral marketing campaign, or maybe like a commercial. I was thinking a commercial for Snickers, but maybe Snickers for dogs. Snickers bars that are safe for dogs should be a thing, you guys. And these dogs would be like, hey, Ralph, you're not yourself when you're hungry. Have a Snickers. Have a Snickers for dogs. You know, that commercial basically writes itself, and I'm sad to say that hasn't happened yet. Is this story still weird? Does it hold up? I would say yes. And this keeps on happening. It happened again last month in Florida. We'll put a link in the show notes.
9.
Our next number 9 is about the stop flooding story that we had, where basically we did the whole story just so we could say, get bent. An article out of the UK from Sky News about how rivers have gotten canalized or made into canals straight. The water moves fast. And if you curve and bend your rivers, it could stave off flooding. That's kind of the whole story, and they were floating that idea. Floating. They had the idea out there, and they were going to try it. And that's about where we are right now. The update is one other report about how costly flood prep is. There hasn't been very much follow-up on this. Flooding remains to be a problem that has to be solved. Or ARCs. Next is a follow-up to that Chinese marathoner who was smoking while doing a marathon. There is an update to that one. We'll have that coming up. What a Weird Week, where we catch you up on the weird news of the week.
9.
Our number 9 from January 26th of this year was the Chinese marathoner who got disqualified for chain smoking through the entire race. The fellow goes by Uncle Chen. Uncle Chen is 52 years old. He finished the race in 3 hours 33. Not too shabby, and chain smoking the whole time. So at the time of reporting, he was disqualified from the race. Weeks after that report, Uncle Chen was banned from competing in the same marathon for a couple of years. So that's your update there. This story still holds up 10 out of 10. It's weird. I mean, you get some weird marathon stories. People dressed like bananas running marathons and, all sorts of kind of weird things in the run circles. But this one is the most talked about weird marathon story, the chain smoker. My gosh, we linked to an article from Run Society. They get so far deep into the sport psychology of Uncle Chen smoking through the race. Kind of fascinating. I'll be honest, didn't finish the whole thing. I get exhausted just reading about running.
9.
Our number 9 from February 2nd was the super Swiftie who broke the world record. The fellow from Pakistan, 20 years old, able to break the record for the most Taylor Swift songs identified from their lyrics in 1 minute. The world record, 34 Taylor Swift songs. Here's your update. A month ago, Bilal, the fellow, I think I'm saying it right. Bilal, I'm trying. B-Man. I'd like to call you B-Man. Bilal posted a video on YouTube unboxing his plaque and certificate from the Guinness World Records folks. So this story is holding up. Nobody has beaten the record yet. 34 Taylor Swift songs is the number to beat. Next, we'll follow up a gambling story about the Super Bowl from early February. Has gambling gone by the wayside? No longer popular? Well, you'll have to wait to see. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. This is What a Weird Week.
9,
Our number 9 from February 9th was about the record amount of gambling on the Super Bowl. It was being predicted that around 68 million Americans planned to bet on the super fun big game. The super big game. Am I allowed to say Super Bowl? I think so, but super big game is fun. Also, we said at the time how you could bet on almost anything. They had something for everyone. They were trying to open up betting for everybody, whether you were a sports fan or not. And with the Taylor Swift appearance at the Super Bowl, there were things like, will Taylor Swift wear an outfit that shows her belly button? You know, those were the types of things you could bet on. By the way, Kansas City beat San Francisco 25-22 in overtime, in case you missed it or kind of forgot. So the update on this one, it's hard to find specific updates on did 1 in 4 Americans gamble on the big game, but there are some follow-ups that say a record amount of money was bet on the Super Bowl. So the story holds up. Gambling continues to be a popular thing. Also, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, you guys, still popular.
9,
This number 9 from February 16th. It's not a feel-good story. It's the most downbeat of the stories we'll have this episode, though, I'll tell you that. The plague cat story from mid-February. The person in Oregon who got the bubonic plague from their cat. At the time, they reported very little risk to the community. They caught it early. They got the meds in. They went to all the close contacts, all of that. The update is it's a bit hard to learn the specific details of this one because privacy, health concerns, privacy. But there are no reports I can find about this person other than references that they were expected to be fine, and then the story was over. Their close contacts were going to be fine. The cat, not. The cat did not make it. So what about the holding up factor? Does this one hold up? I believe it does. There are still some cases, since we had that one on, still some times where you'll hear about bubonic plague. It's mostly transmitted from animals to people, and it's fleas. It's lousy stinking fleas, you guys. Anyway, that's the bubonic plague story. The least feel-good story of this episode. Up next is a number 9 from February 23rd. Ooh, it's not exactly feel-good either. I may have spoken too soon. Oh, no, wait. This one's a little bit better. Not great. Are you hooked? That one is next. This is What a Weird Week. Weird news, you guys. Weird news.
9,
This number 9 from February 23rd. I remember at the time I didn't know I was conflicted about it. I like that the pursuit of truth is still something, but I felt awfully bad for the owner of the oldest dog in the world who had just recently passed away. And then there was all this controversy about the world record. So we're talking about Bobby or Bobby. I've heard it both ways. The oldest dog in the world, 32 years old in the Guinness Book of World Records. And then there was some discrepancies. The Guinness World Records folks were like, maybe we better double check on this. And they took away the title of the oldest dog in the world. Here's your update. Bobby's Wikipedia page has updated with details of how the Guinness World Records folks took away that record. Guinness World Records says, we are not yet in a position to confirm a new holder for the record, although we certainly hope that the publicity around the record title encourages pet owners from around the world to get in touch. It's still going to be a record. There was some talk like maybe they'll get rid of this record. Maybe it's, too hard to confirm this stuff, but nope. And their investigation was quite thorough. We linked to it if you want to see how they found out about Bobby and got to the truth.
9,
The next number 9 was from March the 1st when it was in the news, the researchers who discovered the world's biggest snake. We kept saying biggest snake, and I probably should have at the time said heaviest snake, the northern green anaconda, a new species of anaconda. It took the record for biggest snake, heaviest snake in the world. They found one over 400 pounds, 26 feet long. That was maybe you remember the professor, very interesting moniker, Professor Freek Vonk, the Dutch biologist and TV personality who was featured in the article that we linked to. Here's your update. The snake continues to be the heaviest snake in the world. More sources have confirmed it. 10 out of 10, this one holds up. It is weird, it is freaky, and we linked to another video. The snake is enormous, you guys. You have a chance to click the video, shownotes.page. Up next, at number 9 from March the 8th, that gold Lego piece that almost went for $14. And then someone was like, hey, this is gold. Much like our show, you guys. Hey, right? Thanks for listening. This is the What a Weird Week show.
9,
Our special 9 nines episode, revisiting 9 number 9s with some updates.
9,
The number 9 from March the 8th, the rare Lego piece that was in the news, it was solid gold. It was found at a thrift store. They were going to sell it for $14.95. And then somebody was like, it might really be gold. It went on auction and it sold for around $18,000. That one was interesting. And you hear a story like that and you dare to dream. You're like, maybe the next time I go to a yard sale, maybe I'm going to find something worth $18,000. There's not too much of an update to this one. A few other follow-ups about, wow, did you really think it was worth $15? Yeah, we thought it was worth $15. And then you made $18,000 on it? Yeah, we made $18,000. That's about it for the updates. That story still holds up. Not many of these solid gold Lego pieces have popped up in the news. So that one's a weirdo. A weirdie.
Honorable
Mention.
Even though it's our special episode about 9 number 9s, we still have an honorable mention for you. The time in March where we interviewed the vampire about the time change.
So when you get rid of an hour of darkness, that's 1 hour less to suck blood, and it is 1 hour less to do acts of evil, which are time-consuming. Less time for recruiting minions to do our bidding. And also laundry. Nobody understands how long it takes for a vampire to do their laundry.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, vampires, oftentimes they have been around for decades, if not centuries. We have an older wardrobe. Almost every vampire has at least one piece in their closet that's 100 years old. It's hand wash only. So to do our laundry, it's not just a case of tumble dry and we're good to go. It takes a lot of time.
So you've decided to do something about your plight. You're running for town council.
Yes, I'm running here in my hometown of New Buntingford, New Brunswick, Canada. I'm hoping to be a council person and just, shine a light. Oh, wait, not shine a light, shine some darkness on vampirism.
And how's the campaign trail?
Well, it's my first rodeo, I'll put it that way. So there have been some, I'm not going to candy coat this for you, Scott. There's been some missteps.
So that's a little bit of the interview we had with the vampire during the spring time change. How has that won 0 awards for journalism? I'm outraged. We link to the whole interview in the show notes. Up next, our number 1, number 9.
Soda pop and organ tunes, they go together like Johnny and June. Soda pop and organ tunes, they go together like lunch and noon. Lunch and noon. A marriage made in heaven. Soda pop and organ tunes.
Catching you up on the weird news of the week. This is What a Weird Week.
9,
Our last number 9 revisited for the special 9 9s episode is Cats for Books from March 15th. In Worcester, Massachusetts, the public library had this late book fee amnesty. If you had an overdue book at the library, for the month of March, instead of cash money, you could submit cat photos and have your debts paid off. No cash needed. No Bitcoin. Cat photos. They called it March Meowness. Here's your update. They received thousands of cat photos. Thousands, you guys. We linked to them. They're pretty fantastic. Our final story of the special 9/9s episode does hold up. And a shout out to the Worcester Public Library on a very successful cat month. And that's it. That's the show. Thank you for tuning in to our special 9/9s episode. Appreciate when you click and subscribe, review, all that stuff. You can get everything we talked about, all the follow-ups, if you go shownotes.page. That's where we put transcripts, show notes, assorted things, sundries. I don't know. Shownotes.page. Also, shout out to you folks on the live stream. Thanks for listening. We are part of the weekend programming on Funhouse Radio. Just ask your smart speaker to play Funhouse Radio. Catch you next week for another episode of What a Weird Week.